Hi everyone, my name is Michael, and today on Michael on the Mic, where we talk everything fashion to better your understanding of the industry, we're going to be talking about Glossier. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, Glossier is a beauty company, and here we talk all things fashion. However, I like to think that the beauty industry and the fashion industry are really well interlaced because both industries are creative ones that are helping you express your identity. And Glossier isn't just a beauty brand. Ever since 2019, when they launched Glossiwear, they do sell apparel now. But that's not the purpose of this video. What I want to get into today is how Glossier got started and how their business operates and how it's so different yet so successful than many other businesses out there. Emily Wise is the founder and CEO of Glossier. However, she didn't start with Glossier. She started her own blog, Into the Gloss, which eventually turned into Glossier, but we'll get into that soon. To give you a little bit of a backstory on who Emily is, she was born and raised in Connecticut in the US, and she interned for Ralph Lauren at the age of 18. She interned at Teen Vogue at the age of 19, so she was really into the fashion industry from a very young age. She attended New York University and studied studio art, and after graduating, she got a job with W Magazine. When she was working at W Magazine, this is when she found out that she loves journalism and to write about things that she's passionate about. So during her time at W Magazine, she thought of the idea of starting a blog. However, before getting the ball rolling on her upcoming blog, she actually got an offer to be an assistant at Vogue, which is obviously, if you're interested in fashion, the opportunity of a lifetime. And after a little bit of time at Vogue, after networking with probably amazing people and just meeting a really big part of the fashion industry, she started the blog Into the Gloss. Since so much of her time was being occupied by working at Vogue during the day, she actually wrote on her blog from 4 a.m. until 8 a.m. every morning, Monday through Friday. And what she wrote about on her blog, Into the Gloss, was everything beauty related. She wanted to start conversations about the best products, the worst products, the best brands she likes, the worst brands she likes, and everything in between. She launched the blog in 2010, and by 2012, she had 200,000 monthly readers. And something that she was doing rather than just being a blogger and having readers read her work was that she was starting conversations. She was interacting with her users and creating a community on this blog. The reasoning for her exponential growth was in 2012, she started the Top Shelf series, which is basically her interviewing pretty big names in the fashion industry, for example, like Karlie Kloss, and interviewing them about their skincare routine. And just 2 years later, in 2014, she was acquiring 1.3 million unique monthly readers to her website. Now, this is even bigger than you probably can imagine because having a 1.3 million following on Instagram or TikTok or any other social media is because people are always on Instagram and these other social medias. Being that successful on a blog means that these people are actively going every day to their website and reading it because they really want to. They're not just passing by it when they're on their social medias and on their Instagrams and just scrolling through. They're actively fans of this blog. And the reason for its success and why people were actively going on the website and reading about the newest beauty products was that it was very communal. People could go on there, ask questions, ask for tips and tricks about their skincare routine, if they had cystic acne or if they had dry skin or oily skin and everything in between. People were very welcoming and nice to one another. As the blog just grew bigger and bigger and bigger, Emily was starting to realize what she had at her fingertips. She had almost 1.3 million readers a month, consumer insights about what they wanted in the beauty industry. She had a blog filled of people's wants and demands about what they wanted for their specific skin type and who wanted what and what was lacking in the beauty industry because it was basically like a forum online that people came to discuss what they thought brands should be doing, what brands shouldn't be doing, and everything in between. So what Emily did was that she read all of these consumer insights with a few of her friends. She literally analyzed everything that people wanted, created 4 products, and launched Glossier. The data that Emily had at her fingertips was valued so high and she received it all organically because many big brands, big corporations like a L'Oreal or Shiseido would be paying out agencies or big data agencies to acquire all this consumer insights for very high prices. Something else that Emily realized after launching Glossier is that no matter what she launched, she was always going to have a very loyal consumer segment following her. And this is because she created this community of beauty lovers, and no matter what she was producing, they were buying. Something else that Emily did, which I think was another key factor of Glossier's success, is that Emily kept Into the Gloss, the blog, running, and it is still up to this day with still a very communal following. It's pretty well known that many external blogs are no longer as successful because people won't take the time to go out of their way to go on to separate websites just to read up on a blog. People are mostly on Instagram all the time and will come across who they follow and that is like their new version of a blog. However, if you go on to Into the Gloss right now, you'll still see people actively commenting and interacting on the blog and creating this communal following that has kept since 2010 and is carried on today, 2021. So Glossier launched in 2014 and has completely globalized ever since. They just opened their first store in London, and they have a store I think in New York, Miami, and LA. But the really key important factor of Glossier and why it's so successful is that they have democratized beauty. The biggest gap that Emily Wise saw on the End of the Gloss blog is that many beauty brands were trying to be superior over their consumers. It was a one-way conversation of beauty brands telling consumers what to buy. What Emily did was that she created a group of products that was made directly for consumers and created a conversation on what they needed to make to become a successful brand. They have a two-way open communication between brand and customer and brand because they want to make sure that they are pleasing their customers 100%. Glossier even has a handful of very loyal Glossier consumers around the world, and they will go out there, host events with these consumers, bring wine, bring pizza, and speak with them about what beauty trends they're liking recently, what they don't like, what they think Glossier should do, and they listen to them, create mock-ups of these products, and see if they like them. And if they do, they sell. So instead of Glossier being the superiority brand over their consumers, they've made it an equal playing field and said, we can't operate without you, and you won't get products from us if you don't give us our insight. It's a two-way street. In business terms and marketing terms, it's a co-creation strategy, which basically means that neither people will benefit unless both people input value. And Glossier did exactly that, and they are still on the up and up. They are still continuing to globalize. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Glossier stores in the EU or in Asian markets because they are just going, and I don't think they're stopping anytime soon. But that's all I have for you today. That was my little deep dive into Glossier and Emily Wise and how she created such a successful brand from being a blogger, selling no products, into creating this international globalized company. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Michael. This is Michael on the Mic, and I'll be back in 2 weeks.